Hi everyone, welcome to Gnan Cloud Garage. In this session, I'm going to talk about how to deploy Openshift Cluster on vSphere 8 with RedHat ACM, Advanced Cluster Management for Kubernetes. Okay, so in order to do that, let me connect to our lab system. Let's see, in our previous session, we talked about how to install RedHat ACM. We installed using the RedHat Operators Hub. We select the operators as Advanced Cluster Management. We configured the Advanced Cluster Management that is succeeded. Even multi-cluster hub also running successfully. This is the prerequisites to before deploy the another additional OpenShift cluster on vSphere 8. Even if you see in our vSphere, we have a OpenShift cluster 1 is running. Now we are going to create another cluster with name of OCP2. Okay, so in order to do that, either we can add the existing cluster to ACM, or we can also deploy additional cluster using ACM. That is the benefit of advanced cluster management. So to do that, within this console, instead of local cluster, change the tab to advanced cluster or all clusters. When you go to the all clusters, first we have to add a credentials. So with interest of our time, I already added a credential, that is ACM vSphere, and namespace should be ACM namespace open cluster management. I added my credentials. So once we added the credentials, go to the infrastructure cluster section and select new cluster. Currently we have one local cluster. Now we are creating a one more cluster. So click on create cluster and choose our credentials, saved credentials for vSphere. So select the VMware vSphere, and infrastructure provided credential is through ACM. That means existing credential. And the cluster name, this time the new cluster name we can call it as OCP2. OpenShift Cluster Platform 2. And the cluster set, if you want to set the cluster set, let's say for the time being we'll keep the default, and the base domain anpslab.com, and the release the image. So to select the image, we have to choose what is available Red Hat packages. Let's say OpenShift we are using a 4.13.4, so that is the latest one. And the remaining options, default enter value, this is not mandatory value, so let's leave it default. So now click on next. And node pools also, we have to choose the architectures, some default architectures available, but for the time being I'm just leaving, let's say it will choose a default setting. So click on next. And networking, let's say our vSphere network name. Within our vCenter, go to the network. We have a multiple network. Let me choose the network name as OCP network. So let's copy the same network name and come here and enter the network name. And we have to choose a one API VIP and ingress VIP. So in order to choose that IP address, let me choose one of the free IP addresses for this. So to choose the free IP address, we have to verify what is the free IPs are available. Okay. Let me verify the current available IP address first. Currently, we have created some DHCP scope. I'm just looking the overall IP, which is IPs available, free IP. For example, 47 and 48 we created earlier for OCP1. Let's say I'm creating a 51 and 52 this time for the OCP2. So let's copy the same IP and reserve this one and change to OCP2. Here also OCP2. So IP address is 51 and 52. So that means log into the lab system, connect to the Active Directory system, and open the DNS record. And we have to create a DNS record for that API IP and star.apps IP. So let's select this one and create the IP API.OCP2. This is our cluster name, and IP address is 51 192.168.243.51. So create the pointer record, add host, click on OK, done. And another record is for star.apps. So you can type star.apps. And we have to type the cluster name OCP2, and enter the IP address 192.168.243.52. So allow this one, click on add host, click on OK, done. Okay, so once it is done, go to the pointer record and refresh. You will see that 2 new records. Okay, records are created. The same IP address 51 and 52 we are going to enter here. So let's minimize the DC system, close, and enter the IP here. So 192.168.243.51, and it's saying address must be contained this format. Okay, in order to do this format, we have to edit this format first. This is under the machine CIDR. So scroll down here, first modify the machine CIDR to our network IP. Okay, this is our network IP. Now it will detect this IP. Okay, and enter this IP to 52, and network type OVN, Kubernetes, and remaining options, let's leave it default. Click on next. And proxy, currently we are not using any proxy in my lab. And disconnected installation, generally this is for a remote branch offices. So sometime government infrastructure or any dark sites we use this method. So just ignore this setting for the time being. And don't configure the Red Hat Ansible tower. If you have any automation, we can use Ansible automation platform here. And now we already good to create the cluster. Click on create. Okay, creating cluster, redirecting to details. So creating cluster is in progress. So during this time, we can monitor the screen, or we can open a view logs. We can see the logs as well. And it may take around 20 minutes time, or sometimes it may take 20 to 45 minutes time. Okay, and it will create a new cluster within our vSphere platform. Okay, so we can monitor the status. So creating is in progress. So I just click on the logs view. Okay. So all the process is running in the backend. If you see here, it is trying to get the Red Hat Core OS image now. That means maybe here one image is going to create. Let me refresh this page, vCenter page. Yeah, it's created the image file. It is creating. Yeah, if you see in our recent task vCenter, it is creating a OCP2. Okay, so this is creating in progress. So once it's prepare a OCP2 Red Hat Core OS template, using that template, it will provision the 3 masters and 3 workers. Okay, if you see here, it is also creating a masters. Bootstrap VM is getting power on now. See, after bootstrap, see the OCP master 0, master 1, master 2 got created. Let me refresh one more time to see the new VMs. Yeah, if you see here, we have a folders for discover virtual machine OCP1. There is a new folder created for second cluster OCP2, and OCP2, if I expand the OCP2 folder, we have bootstrap, master 0, master 1, master 2, and template also created. And still it is creation is in progress. It may take another 20 minutes or sometimes roughly 20 to 45 minutes time. So instead of waiting here, I will just stop the session, but we got an idea how we can provision the cluster using ACM. Once we provide this information, it may take some time to complete. We already noticed bootstrap, three masters, and three workers also will create soon. Okay, hope you understand the procedure, how we can deploy the vCenter, how we can provision a additional OCP cluster on vSphere using advanced cluster management. Okay, so that's it for today. Let me minimize. And if you're watching this video first time, please do view, like, share, and subscribe to the Gnan Cloud Garage channel. If you're already subscribed, I appreciate all your support. Bye for now.